Alright guys, so here we are with Dune 3 to begin the Dune 3 series, and to kick this off I wanted to talk about one of the coolest things about Dune 3, which is different voices and layers within a synth. So right here, I've built up a patch using the Signs 1 wavetable and 3 different voices which are doing 3 different things. Some of them are transposed, some of them have arpeggiators, so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and listen to the patch and then we'll dive into how I made it. And we'll play with some settings. Pretty cool stuff, right? Okay, so Dune 3, monster of a synth and very crazy powerful. So let's go ahead and just dive through this kind of one piece at a time because there's a lot of different stuff going on here, but it's actually a pretty simple patch once you understand kind of the makeup of Dune 3. So we get up to 8 different voices or layers of stuff we can do. In this case, I've only used 3. So if we go to the active and edit over here, this allows us to edit one voice at a time, and we can see what's going on with each one. So in number 1 here, I've got just a single Signs 1, and that position we'll get to in a minute. We'll just dive into that now. So this LFO is going to control the position later on, but I found this position for all of them seemed to be a good kind of starting point, more or less. So we've got Signs 1 here. This is tuned down an octave, and then nothing else is going on in this layer. However, maybe we could just add a touch of white noise, because why not? Okay, so that's pretty much it. This is just the base layer. If we solo this out, it's going to sound like this. How cool is that? So how I made that is with ARP1. I enabled ARP1 over here, and if we go to ARP1, I just left this on the step sequencer and just played with notes and tying different notes together. This is a really basic pattern, and then I just kind of played the notes, or played with the note values until it felt right. Without all the effects and stuff, it's going to sound like this. Which I thought, you know, sounded really nice. Then from here, I just kind of played with the amplitude envelope. Not really in any particular fashion, just up the attack and release to make it more patty. So obviously, the less attack you give it, the more instant that arpeggio thing is going to feel. But I didn't really want that clickiness, so I kind of wanted to just tail off that attack a little bit. Filter envelope, this is affecting all voices. So I've just set up the envelope amount here and adjusted the decay and release until things felt right. So that's all that's going on in voice 1. So let's move over to voice 2. This is where things got a bit more interesting. So in voice 2, this is the same Signs 1 wavetable, position exactly where it was. This has 11 voices. This is tuned down an octave. And then over here in 2, so we get up to 3 oscillators per voice or layer. So over here, I've got the MHKSL decentralized wavetable. This one just sounded kind of cool at this position and mixed the two roughly like that. In retrospect, maybe Swarm would sound better, but we'll get to that in some other video because there's a lot of really cool different tunings and stuff. So that's pretty much all that's happening here, and soloed out sounds like this. So I've got this guy down an octave, and then this guy is up +7, which is a 5th. So it creates just kind of a basic chord. So this is kind of that middle layer, that kind of fills everything else out. And then I just kind of wanted some sparkle, which is what I did over here with voice 3. So we'll go to voice 3, and I've activated ARP2. ARP2 looks like this. Same thing, step sequencer, tied a couple different notes together, and just played with the note value. So that one sounds like this. So this is dotted quarter notes, so I have 2 different ARP patterns and speeds, which having 2 arpeggiators is such a ridiculously cool feature. I'm really not a guy for arpeggiators, but I don't know, just something about having that and being able to layer it up and kind of make these almost tap delay type of patterns within Dune is super, super sick. So this is just signs 1 voice, nothing too special. A lot of the kind of cool power and stuff comes from the effects. So let's go ahead and take a look at that now. So down here in the filter, I've got the phaser effect amount, about 20%. Modulating this, I would probably maybe, I don't know, do the mod wheel to tie to this and just give it a little bit of range just to move around later. Filter is important. This is the analog alpha 24. Play with the drive value, maybe plus 25, maybe none. Doesn't, you know, just depends on what you're going for. But the effects is where Dune really brings this whole thing to life. So if we disable the effects and just listen to the actual patch itself, this is what I've got. Maybe move that wavetable a bit. So effects-wise, this is what's happening. I've got the distortion. This is set to fuzz, drive of 22%, dry wet about 15. This just gave it a little bit of kind of bite and grit. Equalizer 2 is active. This was to shelve off some of the super high annoying stuff, sucked out a little bit of the mids here, the lower mids, and then boosted around 80 hertz, just kind of for some warmth and depth to the sound. So after that, I've got the chorus. This is set to dimensional, rate of 0.33 hertz, dry wet 50%. Could probably dip that equalizer down a little. This feeds into the reverb, and the reverb is probably one of my favorite things about Dune 3 because we get shimmer reverbs. So I've got a shimmer hall, time is up, and we could probably even move this more just to make it more ridiculous. High frequency damping, about 30 to 40%. Shimmers left at 50, regeneration 20 to 30%. Color, just set this whatever feels right. Modulation amount is 50%, width 100, dry wet 48%. You can up or down this value as you would like. I found about 30-ish% seemed to be good, maybe a bit less. And then from here, just play with your filter. So in doing all of this, you can create some absolutely ridiculously cool pads using Dune 3. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this patch. It's just a bunch of sine waves and ARPs and reverbs and stuff. And having those layers is really the best part about Dune. And I definitely recommend digging through the Dune 2 and Dune 3 factory pads because they do a great job of showing off kind of how things can be molded together into like a consistent thing. And you can go as crazy with this as you want. So, you know, I could do like 6 voices and have maybe a Reese sub on voice 4, and 5 could be, I don't know, some kind of growly wavetable. You know, there's all sorts of ridiculous stuff you can do. So that will do it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys again soon.